Good morning, everybody. I'm here with the amazing Psychic Liz Cross. How are you doing today?
Oh, great. Thank you. Two things. Don't forget to subscribe to the backup channel, the CTT channel that will be listed in the comments. And Mr. Photon does have a tip jar. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to probe a bunch of different things market related today. This one I thought was interesting. We'll get to this in a minute, but just to show you what's coming up is that we're going to actually probe Satoshi Nakamoto and find out if the U.S. Homeland Department supposedly met with Satoshi and is covering it up. So there's a lawsuit in court right now trying to unravel that, which I thought was quite interesting. That was just in the news, I think, this morning. So I think that would be cool if we could probe Satoshi. And we probed him a few times in the past as well. So we found out some interesting information. And we'll do that again. But first, let's look at some market stuff that could be affecting the market coming up. We all know that we're in a trade war right now. And, you know, China is probably the biggest one, I would say, with the most effect. And there was a rumor this morning, actually, that Trump was considering a 90-day pause in tariffs, except China.
Oh,
uh,
God.
do you want to pull in Mr. Trump?
Yeah. All right. Look at that picture. Good grief.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got him here. Okay. First impressions, as I tap into his energy field, he's feeling pressured.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He's feeling big pressure right now. Yeah. So for those that don't know about the market, I mean, we've had the three worst days in the stock market since 1987. And that doesn't look good for a president in office, for sure. That's not good. So he's under a lot of pressure. He doesn't want to back down, I guess, obviously, on these tariffs. So as of today, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to stand strong and not back down. Is that correct?
Are you going to back down from the tariffs? No. He
No.
says he is under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people at the top, lots of billionaires and trillionaires that are really pressuring him, making phone calls to him personally. You know, they all know one another,
Mhm.
and they're basically outraged.
Yeah.
And no matter how much explaining he's telling me, no matter how much explaining he's doing, look, you got to look at this in the long term. People don't care about that. They want short-term results immediately.
Yeah.
Okay? And he's like, this is something that is for the long haul. This is not a short-term fix.
Yeah. Okay. And and as far as Mr. Jinping, they're kind of playing a game of chicken right now, right? So Trump just came out and said if they don't release the tariffs, because China just put a 35% tariff on the United States, that Trump has come back and said we'll put 50% if you don't remove it by April 9th, which is tomorrow. I think he's giving a deadline for that. So who's going to win this game of chicken? Maybe we can call in my master team. It seems they're just kind of going back and forth ultimately.
Who's going to win this game of chicken? Is it going to be Trump? Ultimately, Trump.
Yeah. And do you think that,
Because China cannot afford to not have the USA as customers. They
oh
just can't.
yeah, it's kind of silly. Um, so he's given an ultimatum for tomorrow, actually. Yeah, looking at it now, April 9th, for China to pull their tariffs back, or they're going to slap on the 50%. So how's it looking now? Do you think we're going to see that 50% tomorrow slapped on there, or is Jinping gonna fold at the table?
Mm. Let's talk to the president of China. What do you think about Trump? Oh my God, he's like, I want to vomit. Why? Why do you want to? Oh, the pressure is on. He is in the same boat. He's got big people calling him, shouting him down the phone. Lots of people he doesn't want to back down, right? He really doesn't. And he doesn't like taking orders
Yeah.
at all. This is not a man who takes orders. He makes the orders, he does not take them. And I'm saying, so what are you going to do now that Trump has said 50%? He's like, I'll go 80%. But that's how he feels, his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, because he's of the mindset that we need those goods from China. And I'm
Hmm.
saying, are you going to do it with just, the knickknacks and the stuff like that? Or are you going to hit us with I shouldn't even give him this thought, but whatever. He probably already knows the medicines, the pharmaceutical industry.
Mm.
Because, a
Yeah.
lot of these countries, they create a lot of pharmaceuticals cheaply, and Americans are the consumers. So, are you planning to hit the pharmaceutical industry? Yes, he is. And he says, and I'll hit that with 100% tariff.
Mm. So it doesn't sound
Okay.
like this is getting resolved tomorrow, most likely.
Is this going to be resolved tomorrow? No, I think it's going to take a while.
Mm.
Certainly in the here and now. Just remember, when we're doing mind probes, it is the here and now information on April the 8th at 10:45 a.m. in the morning, Central Time. So, these are the personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions of them right now, not years down the line, not yesterday, today. So let's ask Trump, what are you going to do if the president of China comes back with 100% tariff on pharmaceuticals? He goes, I'm going to go 200%. He is not backing down.
Okay. So when do we think this game of chicken slows down or they start to actually negotiate without going back and forth?
When will
Is
this
this like
slow
a
down? I think by the end of the week. I think
really?
by the end of the week, they're both going to look so bad
Yeah.
that they have no choice but to negotiate. The
Okay.
problem is, this is Trump all the way. Okay. We know this. We know this about Trump.
Mm.
This is him all the way. He forces people and countries or whatever businesses into negotiation. That's what he is good at.
Yeah.
Now, you may not like it. People may panic about it. If you're like me, you had to go to the car lot over the weekend. It was packed. Everybody was buying cars. I'm like, oh my God, this is like a zoo out here.
Yeah.
Because the panic, the fear. But this is what he does. This president of China, and I'm assuming it's Jinping. He is not a negotiator.
Mm.
Okay. That's not his strong suit.
Mm. Right.
He
Okay.
really comes across as like a dictator in so many ways. He is not used to this negotiation tactic.
Mm.
So this has really, really bothered him.
Yeah.
So what will happen in the end? I'm gonna ask the master team and the founding fathers what will happen the Chinese will be forced to negotiate because they cannot afford to lose the US business. They just can't.
And when do we think these negotiations will start? Will that be this month?
When will the negotiate? It'll be this week.
Oh
It'll be
wow.
this week.
Yeah, I
It's
can't see it
not.
going on too long. It's just not sustainable. Yeah.
Well, what I'm getting very strongly is, if this goes ahead and continues, factories will close.
Yeah. Sure.
Factories will close in China. A lot of them will go out of business. Now, don't forget, this is exactly what Trump wants.
Yeah.
Okay. This is exactly what he wants. Let's ask him, is this what you want, to force factories to close in China? Yeah. You see, he
Mm.
wants the manufacturing moved back to the USA. I
Hmm.
think it's a bit of a pipe dream. My personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. What
Yeah.
we will do this
Mm.
week with Mr. Shakespeare is, I've got a list of all the manufacturing industries, and we're going to go one by one down to see, out in the future, which ones have actually managed to move back to the States. I'm still getting a no. I overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, if we take into account all the industry, manufacturing industry in the world that is now has now moved to outside of the USA, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of that will we get back? And I got a 2, right?
Yeah.
And that's always been the way. We keep getting those very low numbers.
It makes sense. I mean, it's a different world now than it was. Even if you do incentivize, I mean, it's just going to be cheaper, at the end of the day. So, all right. Okay. The next thing market wise that I think is really going to affect the market is the Fed decision going forward. So, you may or may not know that the Fed is, under like a tightening policy and they have not reduced their interest rate policies in a very long time. And it's historically when the Federal Reserve decides to pivot and go the other way and reduce the interest rate, that's when the market starts to pump. So that's another thing that's been keeping us down as well. And so we have another decision coming up in May, actually. But first, so can you see the picture of Powell there? This little square. That's
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So we want to ask Powell, considering everything that happened with the stock market over the last few days, they had a closed meeting yesterday that was not public. And, there's a lot of speculation that they would have an emergency Fed meeting and possibly reduce the rates before they have the official meeting in May. So what went on in that Fed meeting yesterday? I believe it was yesterday. Were they being pressured to cut rates early?
Let's ask. I'm gonna grab Powell. It's been a while since I've talked to dear old Powell. Um, what was the emergency meeting? They're under a lot of pressure. Okay, again, they're taking the heat from this tariff business.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you taking the heat? Because ultimately it's on us. He's worried that the dollar is going to crash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why are you worried that the dollar is going to crash? Because countries are already saying that they're not going to use the US dollar to trade with.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to start developing other currencies or using different currencies to pay one another. They're no longer going to pay each other in dollars. Ultimately, and I don't know how, okay, Liz is not an economist, Liz is a psychic medium. How that will affect the US negatively, but they believe it will.
Yeah.
And he believes, in his personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, that everybody's just going to stop trading with the US. That's going to devalue the dollar. The dollar is not going to have its power that it has currently, and that it will become worthless. So they're very worried that we are about to enter into what he's saying to me, hyperinflation, where the dollar becomes worthless and like you're buying a loaf of bread for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so are they going to have an early Fed meeting to reduce rates, or are they just going to keep on with the regular schedule in May?
You're going to have an early Fed, the Fed was that to reduce rates? Yes, they're talking about reducing interest rates. Are you talking about actually maybe backing up the dollar with some sort of physical gold or physical asset? That was also discussed as well.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Have
Okay.
you talked about moving over to a digital currency? Yes, I mean, they're talking about maybe one way to get out of this is to go into a cashless based society. What else were you talking? There was a lot of things they were discussing yesterday.
Interesting. And so were they thinking of gold to back like, was that on the table?
Are you thinking of gold to back gold, gold or silver? Gold and silver.
Okay. Was there anything else?
Is there anything else? No,
Yeah, I didn't.
because nothing else makes sense.
Right. Okay.
According to Powell, not
Okay.
Liz,
Right.
Powell.
Yeah. According to Powell. Yeah. And so are they going to have an emergency meeting before May to reduce the rates?
Are you going to have an emergency meeting in May to reduce the rates? Yes, they've already set a date for that.
Oh, okay, and if that's in May or April.
Is that in May? Will the announcement be in May? I think the announcement will be in May.
Okay, because there is a meeting that's coming up. I think it's the 7th of May, 7th or 8th, from memory. And this is the website up here is Polymarket. This is where you can bet on predictions of things happening in the real world. And so
Mm-hmm.
we can see like what the public thinks, putting their money where their mouth is. So the majority of people think that we're going to have no change. So that they're just going to keep it the same. That's pretty much what they've been doing. It's just no change.
At the
Um,
moment, let's ask him at the moment, so this is today's information. With everything going on, this information can change on a dime.
mhm.
Okay? But today's information, are you looking to reduce the interest rates? Yes, yes, down to 3%.
So how they measure this, if you can see on the screen here, to be like technical, they say BPS. That's like the technical term. So a 50% decrease would be, really like more extreme. And then a 25 BPS decrease would be a little bit more, like expected. Um, so what is he leaning towards now? A 25 or a 50 decrease BPS?
Hmm. What are you looking at now? A 25% or a 50%? They're looking at a 50% decrease, okay? We're
Wow.
pretty close to it. Now that again, don't get excited. This is all today's personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I have to keep saying that because
Sure.
people hear what they want to hear and then they run with it, right? We have
So
to keep reminding them.
let's get another perspective. Can we call on the founding fathers to see what they think is going to happen in May?
Oh, what's going to happen in May? Are we going to stay the same? No. The federal interest rates, are they going to go down? They will go down. Are they going to go down by a lot? No, they're going to go down incrementally. But
So
what Powell is saying to us is, he sees this as an emergency situation.
yeah.
So this is what they're thinking. But obviously, after a lot of meetings, a lot of negotiating, time passing, people deciding to negotiate with Trump and the tariffs, things calming down, ultimately, it will be an incremental, decrease.
So the 50% sounds like it's only going to happen if the tariff stuff doesn't calm down. That would be they'd have to do that extreme move.
Is that if the tariff stuff doesn't, right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that would signal to the market that this is an emergency move if they did 50% for sure. That's how everybody would take it. So can we ask the founding fathers then, do they think it's only going to be a 25 BPS in the end for May?
Is it going to be a 25 for me? About that.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's still going to be good, for sure for the market because everybody expects no change right now. So when the market does something that people don't expect, that's good. I think that's a positive. Sometimes you have it like this is just like market psychology. Like people will price things in. Like let's say that it was a no change, right? And 81% of people believed it was no change. Then it wouldn't have any effect really because everybody thought that was going to happen. But if you have an unexpected move, it's going to be more volatile because people don't expect it to happen, if that makes sense. So either way, you know, nobody expects that it's going to increase, right? So if that happened, that would be terrible. But if we got a 50%, that's 3%. Nobody expects that to happen either. And that's a good thing. So the market would absolutely rip, I think, off of that. But a 25 BPS, I think it's good and people will react positively, but I don't think they're pricing it in at the same time. So it's still positive news if that plays out that way. So that's good. Okay. Now let's look at the Satoshi thing because that was really interesting to me. This is news of 15 hours ago. Spotted this, I think, before I went to bed. So apparently there's a lawsuit where this lawyer named James Murphy, he's a crypto lawyer apparently, has sued the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to force the agency into disclosing whom it believes is Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. So supposedly, I think they've met with him in the past, and this was a secret. And he's trying to get Freedom of Information Act released to show what happened. So I guess we want to pull in the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah. Okay. So the Department of Homeland Security, okay, I have them.
So have they met with Satoshi before?
Have you met with Satoshi Nakamoto? Yes, they know exactly who he is. Yes, they do.
Really?
Yes, they do.
Hmm. That's interesting. I don't know if that's good news, sorry, or bad news. Um, Now they've kept it secret. I don't know if it says here. Uh, okay, so
They
you
found him.
they found him, huh? Okay, so it's based on his accusations at a conference in 2019. Yeah, it doesn't say when this supposed meeting happened. So how long have they known about Satoshi or his identity?
How long have you known about Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin and his idea? About 5 years.
Oh, okay, it's been a while. Interesting. And they actually meet with him like face to face?
Did you actually meet with him face to face? Did you actually meet with him face? Yes.
Hmm. Okay. And was that on US soil?
Was that on US soil? Was that on US soil? No.
Oh, so they went outside the country to find him, huh? Uh,
They had been looking for Satoshi Nakamoto, the CIA, the FBI, MI5, MI6. All of them have been trying to find Satoshi Nakamoto.
okay. And so they the first of those agencies to find him that they know of?
No,
Oh,
MI6 found him first.
oh, okay. And so what like why what was the intention of finding him and meeting with him?
What was the intention of finding him? Well, I mean, ultimately, they wanted to bring charges on him
Really?
for Bitcoin. Sorry, kombucha bottle. For Bitcoin, being used in a lot of
Crimes?
criminal,
Yeah.
aspects.
Okay. And was there some reason they didn't go through with that? Did they not have enough evidence or they were stopped?
Is there some reason that why did you not go through with it? They didn't have enough evidence. I
Okay.
mean, did he admit that he was the creator? No, he did not admit that.
Uh, so where did they get their evidence from?
Where did they get their evidence from? There was a whistleblower. Somebody told on him
Really?
that they
Okay.
suspected that this person was Satoshi.
Okay. So that's why. So they were tipped off, and so it's someone's word against someone else's. So,
Do
I mean,
you
is this
believe he is Satoshi? I mean, they really believe that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. They know he is. But you can't just go on someone's word, right? You
yeah,
have to have evidence. He's destroyed or hidden all evidence relating to him creating Bitcoin.
okay, good, smart guy. Um, so is this case still open with Homeland Security?
Is this case still open with Homeland Security? I mean, it will always remain open.
So if they found evidence, they would still try to prosecute him.
If they found evidence, would you still try to? Yes, absolutely. The whole world would.
Okay, let's get another perspective on this, maybe from the founding fathers. Given that we have like a new administration and they're crypto friendly, would this be, is this still going to go? Well, first of all, can we ask them, will he ever be brought up on charges by the US government?
Will he ever be brought up on charges by the U? No,
Mm,
And they won't release that information.
okay. Well, that's good news. Because yeah, I saw this and I was like, uh-oh. This can't be good, right? For the crypto market in general. Even I don't even think even if he wasn't being brought up on charges, I think it's better for the market that nobody ever figures out who he is, to be honest.
Will
I
they
think,
ever figure out who he is long after he's dead?
yeah, we got that before also in one of the
Oh, we
quotes.
did?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But yeah, that's good. That's good news because even if it wasn't a bad, it was even if it wasn't bad news, like somebody just was able to prove who he was, it just usually doesn't go well. Like because like it's the mystery that keeps everybody intrigued, right? And the uncertainty, right, around it is always good, I think, for things. And he was very smart to conceal his identity not only to protect himself, but also for the success of Bitcoin. It just works a lot better if we don't know who he is. You have a lot of expectations of people, and whenever everybody meets their heroes, a lot of the times your expectations are let down, unfortunately. So there's a lot of expectations for who Satoshi is and what he is and all these things that people have made him out to be, right? He's like a mythological figure at this point, right? So it's probably better that he stays anonymous for all reasons. So that's good. Okay, sounds good. And I don't think we should try and probe and see who he is. We've already done a probe on him. We have a few ideas of like where he is and stuff like that, but I don't think it's a good idea for us to really reveal his identity. I don't think that's good for us and for him. So I don't know how far we want to push that, but we have a few ideas.
yeah. I had this almost like semi-stalker who was trying to convince me that he was Satoshi Nakamoto, but I
Mm,
mean the guy is clearly mentally ill.
yeah.
Um, and I was like, dude, I'm a mind prober. I know you're not Satoshi Nakamoto. No,
Yeah.
you're coming to kill you, blah blah blah. And he also actually called or came or something in the court in Florida. You know, when there was that big court case around Satoshi Nakamoto, who is he? But this guy, this same like stalker dude, um, ended up he was part of that court case, and even the court ruled him as he was not Satoshi Nakamoto. I finally blocked the guy. I was like, you can't contact me anymore,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
he was emailing me incessantly telling me I am Satoshi. I will come out the truth. No,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of the long and the short of it is, or the moral of this story is that there's a lot of people that do suffer mental health issues, unfortunately, and they have somehow convinced themselves that they are Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
You have to
Oh,
be
sure.
careful of that.
It's a messiah
Obviously,
complex. That's what I was talking about. There's so much mythology around Satoshi that
mm,
he's like Bitcoin Jesus in a way, right? And so
I
you'll get
love that. Bitcoin Jesus.
there is actually a Bitcoin. A few people have been called that, but for lack of a better term, he's the crypto messiah or whatever. So people have a messiah complex around him. A lot of people do. So yeah. All right.
And the
So
thing about it is, he really is just, I mean, now he's not average, obviously, but if you look at him, he's just an average guy.
I actually do want to ask him a few questions, but we're going to do that on the second part of this video.
Okay.
So we're going to make a part two of this video. We're going to ask Satoshi some questions. We're going to go over the markets with Mr. Shakespeare's charts. So he has some really good astrological charts. And I've been successfully kind of trading off of them recently, some of the bigger assets. And so they've been quite accurate. Now they don't represent price necessarily, but their sentiment in the market. But because the market that we're in right now is so volatile and news based, they're really lining up quite well. So we're going to do a market overview. We're going to do some other cryptos as well. So we hope to see you on part two of this video. You need to become a member with us. It's only a few dollars a month. If you go to patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Did I get that right?
I'm so proud of you. You
All right,
did.
we got it right. And so you can sign up there for Liz's Patreon. Again, it's only a few dollars a month. You get access to our Discord and our groups where I have my own channels there where you can, ask me questions. You can ask Liz questions. You can ask Mr. Shakespeare's questions, Mr. Reality questions. And we have a great community there as well. So we encourage you to come over and we'd love to see you on the second part of this video.
Excellent. Thank you so much for all your hard work, Mr. Photon. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.